Alright, alright, alright. The picks are up. Giant spec looks okay. Speed spec if you're a psycho. Aerial spec if you want a good pack. EndoZoa's got quick supply. Rhino spec if you're ball fangin'. Pretty decent cards on both sides. Speed spec Fang Sledgehammer. Apooche is a sledgehammer enjoyer, and Endo's opting for a marksman spec. Stormcaller Arc. Pretty good pack. I would imagine this is a standard game setup for Endo, and Apooche is going to rush. How's it going, Liar? How's it going, Freddy? On our sledges, we got armor, range, mech rage, and field maintaining. And on Fang, we have ignite. For storms, we got fire, EMP launcher, and range. Arcs, we got armor. Marksman, no Assman. That's a throw. Assman on Orange Man is actually insane. Alright, Apooche opting for one marksman and one Fang. Some would say marksmen are good units. Some would also disagree. And two Fangs from Endo here, which makes sense because best trash into sledges will always be the Fang. Can you give us a lore of Endo and Sledge? Some would say he's the real sledge enjoyer, even more so than Time, and even more so than this other low-key gamer, Fuzzy, who somehow is 0-3, or I'm 0-3 against him, against his sledges. Yeah, marksmen are on the ground bad snipers. Do enjoy his Fang positioning here. Speed spec really good with Fangs and sledges. Mitigate some of their weaknesses. Right tower should get taken. Will Orange Man fall? Orange Man does fall, and that's a level here. If we get an enhancement, if Apooche gets an enhancement module, he will literally be a Jeff Bezos. ER Sledge is pretty good. Don't know how good that is if you're rushing. Probably still pretty decent. Strike Spec is good for Apooche. Haste Module, all pretty good cards. You can also go Carry Arc if you're feeling spicy. Apooche opts for a Haste Module on a sledge, a blue sledge that is. Pretty strong, leveling the marksman. And Endo's opting for Intelligent Arcs. Interesting. So you could be looking to defend this push with just Arcs, which generally work. Specifically if you have EMP, which Endo does not. No parties have EMP. So that could favor the sledge player if they were to actually force both. And some delayed Fangs, covers flank. Late chaff is always good. Opting for more sledges. What a day. Putting pressure across the board. Charge arcs do indeed do work. They do have better clear, so there's some advantage, but we will see. Haste module. We already got a 15 meters a second sledge without mech rage. That is absurd. Right tower will fall again. And Orange Man will drop. Of course, the marksman takes the XP. Love when your marksman, the best unit in the game, yoinks the sledge XP. I don't think it matters, but kind of disrespectful. Sledge got their levels as well. Orange Man is quite literally farming, or feeding, some would say, in this scenario. So a pretty solid opener for solid 2 rounds for Apooche. Intensive training could be insane. Shield airdrop on both sides is pretty strong. Good on flanks. Amp core and a sledge is all good. So Apooche's putting amp core on his blue sledge and buying Mustangs. Endo opts for shield airdrop, which will slow down Apooche, but I think Apooche's got pretty decent shield break with these items now. These are big sledges. They're definitely problematic, and Endo sees that and buys a fortress. Sledge enjoyers love fortresses. It is indeed the worst nightmare, and there's no EMP, so he's getting fisted today probably. Live on stream. Do like this mobile beacon here. Unfortunately, mobile beacon is not going anywhere with this shield airdrop, but eventually one day the sledges will hit tower. Alright, and now the sledges are on the move. Just a little pit stop. Picking up some coffee. Tower's going down. Fortress will drop. So now Apooche sees there's a fortress. He's got to address that next turn. These are big sledges. Level 3 sledges. Doing a lot of damage. But nothing Fortress Fist can't stop. I honestly did not see what happened on flank. I'm assuming it's just a Fang. Yeah, there's a Fang flank, just pulling the right Fang. And immediately opting for tank production. Which is a pretty strong card. Should slow down the sledges a bit. Maybe a potential melter. Apooche up in a skip. Do like this mobile beacon play here. It's a fast ledge, so it can basically just get in. So Apooche's fortress counter will be a melter, which is a pretty strong choice. The only thing stopping Apooche long term will be Fang Shield and Fang Summoning. So if he can solve that problem with Mustangs, he's looking like he's in a good position here. He's got leveled sledges. And if he can stop Fist. Fist and Fang Summoning are red flags here. This fortress is stopping this mobile beacon, unfortunately. But middle fortress will drop, which is good. Sledge is still alive. These sledges are basically soloing a fortress. And now we have our own Orange Man. The real Orange Man was always on Apooche's side. And another clean round from Apooche here. The fortresses are positioned very aggressively. I think so the melters can easily take advantage of that. Or the Apooche can. We got levels, we got melters. Impartial. Sure. We're in professional casters for sure. A laser sight from Apooche. Probably wants it on a melter. Bet I don't. I think that would be. Am I allowed to do that? I definitely should be allowed, right? We got a blue melter in the middle. And we got another laser sight melter here. Laser sight pretty dang strong on a melter. And we're putting Mustangs behind our melter so we actually have good clear. Endo's still thinking what he wants. Missile Strike's always a good option. Endo, I think he feels pressured here, so he invests in $250. Get rid of this big, juicy sledge. That's basically like 60k HP. And hopefully regain some ground. Opts for Fang Shield, which should slow down the sledges. But honestly, with these Mustangs up front, it shouldn't slow down too much. And Apooche doing another mobile beacon with his white sledge, the left tower. The melters will definitely lock on both sides. Most of the sledges are down though. And now we're just left with melters versus storms. Melter should fall here. And Endo finally doing some HP damage. Although that is only one due to a javelin, I believe. Improved Stormcallers. It's a pretty good card if you want to go War Factory. But Heavy Armor is probably the smarter choice here, I think, from both sides. Although, what do I know? They both skip. They don't need HPs. I mean, to be fair, HP is not that good into Melter, but HP on this would be pretty insane. We are selling our sledge. We don't like that guy. We're off the sledge, and we're taking the amp core on the level 2 Melter, buying Mustang range HE. We understand that sledges are not real units. We understand they're only there to store our money and store our items, and now we're buying real units that do real things. I like this. It's a good call, I think. And then Endo's opting for shields, which will slow down the clear until the melter gets in. Then we got shield airdrop backup. Getting a attack enhancement. We're doing another mobile beacon. I don't think this works, but it does look pretty cool. Melters are immediately locking on and breaking down shields. Mustangs clearing on the Fang shields as well. Melters locking on in the middle, so one fortress is down. Right side fortress down. All the fortresses dropping. And left side fortress will also drop. So this is looking pretty clean from Apooche. All you need is 2 melters. This mobile beacon is still tempting to get tower, but Not too much HP damage here, but I imagine long term Melter Mustang should beat Fang Shield forts. Alright, improve Phoenix back on the table. They really want them. Bear like really wants War Factory angles, but we're going for improved firepower. Probably on a Mustang for Apooche. And maybe on a fort for Endo. Don't fully know. We got a blue Mustang with AP. We got elite marksman for our level 6 marksman. $400 for extra damage. It's an interesting choice, and we're getting our own Mustangs to clear the Fang shields. We're keeping the sledge and opting to go for another Mo Beacon play, buying Barrage for shields. Apooche's buying more Fang shields. Endo's got Mustang HE now, so they both clear pretty well. Endo has not used his improved firepower control system. Saving it for something? Not necessarily sure. Okay, it's going... This guy wants to do infinity damage. He's got 46k Orange Men, level 6, so... These melters better fucking watch out, bud. Orange Man wants to contribute to the team. He really does. Melters will lock on. Look at that damage. Unfortunately, this is 143k, but doing better than the Fortress here. Fortresses are dropping. Orange Man is doing his best. He can only carry so much, Orange Man. Marksman looking better than forts here, guys. You gotta update your tier lists. Clearly, you don't understand the power of mathematics. Fortress again falling. All the fortresses are dead. This is looking heavily favored for Apooche here. Slowly but surely, Endo's HP is dropping low. Endo is basically close to lethal. Not a position you want to be here. Got a lot of spell Andy cards going. We're dropping a Vulcan in the Anus. That is what it's called. He needs something to keep him in the game, I think. Javelin's coming up next round as well. Yes, Endo does have punch. Any specific rule for this tourney? A win to the video game, basically. This is just it's a round robin, basically. Best of 3. Opting for range on our Schmelters. We got 190 meter melters. We still got this big juicy sledge. For the haste module, we got a crawler drop from behind. Don't imagine that does anything, although it will slow down the Mustangs. Will Apooche defend the Vulcan drop? I should remember to be professional and turn off the chat. No spoilers. Buying more melters. Endo also got a bunch of HE range Mustangs. Buying temp range from Endo. And interesting, Apooche actually defends Vulcan drop basically. With a melter and a shield. Solid call. Mustangs are distracted. Fortresses are getting insta locked on. Orange Man doing 57k damage here. Basically popping every single melter. All the forts are down though, so now it's a Mustang duel. Vulcan actually gets tower due to the shield break. Can Orange Man clean everything up? He's got the range, he's got the damage. These Mustangs are a bit too strong. The right side tower will drop. Alright, orange men down, so that's definitely a level for every single unit that touched them. And a lot, pretty much, what, 1,000 HP damage here. Leaving Endo at 666 HPs. And a bit of an econ deficit with Javelin and Vulcan drop used, so Apooche looking to finish it off with a nuke, and Endo skipping. He's got a long way to go, and he's basically just got Orange Man level 8, almost 69k damage a shot. I bet your Phoenix can't do that shit. We're opting for more fortresses here. I think this nuke should be game ending. We're opting for crawler spawn. Don't know how effective that would be into Mustang, but maybe late game. Maybe Orange Man doesn't one-shot a Melter. We will see. Level 8 Orange Man to Endo. Go up Pier 6. Yep. Marksman, best unit on Endo's board here. Javelin, though, we're jabbing big Schmelter with the Mustang item as well. Should be a pretty clean end, though, unfortunately. Endo, end of his game. Alright, I'm done. We sold the sledge. We have a haste module and a melter. We're boring for range. Shields basically drop off rip, so that nuke is gonna land. Goodbye, Orange Man. It was nice knowing you. Melter should clean up. Mustang should clean up. Did Apooche just flank with a marksman? He did. And crawler summoning coming up at a pretty convenient time here. Oppenheimer. True. True. I didn't see what Apooche did, but we need to examine the marksman flank. We need to know what the fuck is going on there. Very important to figure that out. Pretty clean game by Apooche here. Melters are indeed better than fortresses. This is true. Ah, yes. The classic marksman Mustang flank. Yes. Just another day playing Mechabellum. Yeah, that was a pretty insane first match. These are some very aggressive fortress positionings that I think put him in a bad position here. Alright, Apooche. It's got some pretty decent packs here. Giant spec. Endo. Got a Fang sledge pack that looks decent. Supply spec ball Fang. We got a Mustang ball opener. A lot of decent options here. Yeah, I enjoy arc steel. All right, ball Fang from Endo, and aerial spec. Interesting choice from Apooche. I think he maybe more so wants it for Stormcallers. All the other packs look like ish, decent. All right, ball Fang. Ball Fang, Ball Fang. Alright, opting for 2 crawlers for our trash. Which is, I think, the correct play here. Making sure we have good crawler positioning so we don't get pulled on flank. We got some bait balls on the line. Interesting. Trying to get an early tower here. So instead of buying 2 fangs, we're getting another ball. Usually an uncommon ball fang strat. We got vertical storms. I think vertical storms is pretty okay against rush. Pull out a blender. Who knows? Monks is known for his blendings. So we're more asim on the right side. And of course, balls always make their way to tower. Well, apparently not. Okay, yes. Balls get to tower here. Got a lot of XP, maybe even a level on the bait ball. Of course, Stormcallers somehow always figure out a way to close the round. Got some decent options here. Missile device, maybe later if you want to handle the balls from Apooche side. Deployment module if you're feeling spicy. Apooche opting for a skip. I believe the storm bug is still in the game, but it's a variation of it. I think they fixed it partially. Don't actually know the details. Both parties opting to skip. Endo opting for more fangs, immediately tech's fang range, which is usually what you want as your first tech. Beats the arcs pretty clean. We're putting 2 fangs on flank here, which I think some of it should die to crawlers, and we're putting Phoenix to handle this ball. That's our ball answer right now, along with storms, but mainly the Phoenix. So these Phoenixes will basically be out of the fight. Do this flank. Not shield first, because it looks like it's more of a fang carry. That's usually what you want if you're fang carrying. Shield is what you want generally as a first tech if it's like your trash units. So decent pull from the crawlers and the Phoenix here. A little bit messing up the aggro, but these balls will find their way to tower. Should be a strong round for Mendo. The balls don't know where to go, apparently. It looked like. They figured it out, though. It's back to the storms. Fang's cleaning up pretty much everything here. Tower will fall. Some good XP on the balls, some good XP on the fangs. Apooche Storm Tech is EMP Fire, Launcher, and Range. And Phoenix, mind you, is Launcher, Quantum, Shield range. Which is interesting. Launcher, I guess, is probably pretty decent for balls. Not too familiar with myself, I don't run it. We got a level on the balls, that's always problematic. Redeployment could be interesting. Walk Swarm, if Apooche wants to get some tower cheese, or some early tower. But that can be easily defended with 2 fangs, so maybe opts a skip. Apooche opting for a redeployment. Probably fix his Phoenix positioning. That's a little bit suboptimal with this flank. And Endo opting to skip. Endo immediately buying a Rhino, probably for the flank here. And Apooche redeploys his Phoenix. Try to go for a flank, but Endo, due to Wasp Swarm and Probably just want to cover flanks in general. Handles that pretty cleanly here. So this Rhino is chilling. You should do a lot of work here. Should buy a lot of time. Although it does not tank for the Mustangs. Well, maybe it tanks for the Mustangs by the time it gets in, but these Mustangs are pretty far away. And opting for attack. So this should be a pretty clean round for Endo. These balls are don't know where to go every round because there's some pulling here, but maybe one blue ball will make their way to tower. Slowly but surely. The flank is pretty strong here, and he's got some strong right side, so Apooche's got a lot of problems to figure out, I think. Doesn't really have an answer to balls other than storms, which with levels, it's not ideal. The Phoenix is a little bit behind also. Now we need a response for the Rhino. Tempo is clearly in Endo's favor here. And this is not a build, Ball Fang is not a build you want to just get levels for free, or else you just lose in the end. Subsize Steel Ball is interesting, but not ideal here, or not like a must take. Apooche opts a skip, nothing he wants. Both parties skipping. Makes sense. We got ball levels. We got more rhinos to protect their fangs. Apooche redeploys his Phoenix back right in front of the rhino. And Apooche opts to buy a boat. He has aero spec here, so the cost isn't too much. He has wasp summoning and field maintenance here. He probably wants chin gun for the balls. So his ball response is a boat, which is pretty strong. Although it won't do that good into fangs later on in the game. Putting Fang and Rhino on flank. So it's clear that Endo wants to focus this tower. And we got armor on arcs. Oh my. That is a little too spicy for me. But it could do some work. Boat taking out some balls. One at a time. The right flank, though, is still pushing in, not being fully addressed. And the boat will drop. So far this is looking very rough for Apooche here. The balls are leveling, the fangs are leveling. Endo immediately opts for deployment spec, there's no thinking. We must get more units, that's just very good with fangs. More fangs is better. Interesting, Apooche opts for fire power control system, which is very expensive. That's 350 bucks. He's putting it on his Mustang, which is good, although it's only level 1. I mean, it's still infinite damage, but that could cost him a lot of tempo here. Not getting deployment spec and buying firepower is very similar to buying parasitic. It's very good, but the round you take it is a big hit, I think. And I don't know if Apooche can afford to do that. Endo's buying more fangs, more rhinos. We got Photon. So Apooche doesn't fully, like, he has boats. He redeploys boats. But there's so many rhinos and balls that it's unlikely they get dealt with. Interesting that Apooche opts to move his boat in the middle when we got two blue balls here that are basically probably still going to get tower, it looks like. Sells off the storm, buys another Mustang. We have attack and defense from both sides. The Rhino's accomplished just being a huge tank. Rhino Photon is pretty efficient at that. Yeah, a lot of Rhinos not falling too quickly except the middle one. Ball's still going to get tower. Basically all the balls alive. When it matters, left side tower is collapsing. Apooche's got so many problems that I don't know how he can recover from this, to be honest. I think the advanced firepower put him a little bit too far behind. And the balls are scaling. He's down to basically 1000 HP. It's not the position you want to be in here, I think. Endo immediately again takes senior attack spec. Really good card. Basically a must. And Apooche skips and takes advanced. He wants all of the Mustang items. And he's buying more boats. Maybe with enough boats, if we clear all the balls and all the Rhinos, maybe the Mustangs can clear up, but we got another Rhino Fang flank. Yeah, and unfortunately, yeah, the best attack item in the game does not get a level on the Mustang. Rip the dog. This is looking like the end of this round. We got Mech Rage, we got Advanced, we got Attack Spec. This is, yeah. He is getting caged in with the Fangs. Balls is basically, the reason you have balls is just because you start with balls. But ideally you want Rhinos. Yeah, this is just standard ball fang Rhino basically. Fang flex, I guess that's what the peoples call it. So the Rhinos are being dealt with. Not all of them, but the Rhinos are being dealt with, but the balls still get in. One Rhino gets in and the Fang just clean up now. So this is a very clean game for Endo. First match was very clean for Apooche, and then this match was very clean. Very well played ball Fang by Endo here. Yeah, I don't know, boats, I don't think cut it. Mustang items definitely put him far back. And the Phoenix positioning one round also got abused, so it's a bit rough. Alright, the cards are up. Supply spec looks pretty yummy. Cost control looks pretty yummy. Quick supply Arc Phoenix is probably his best pick. I think these cards a little bit rough for Endo. Not horrible, but these look a lot better, I think. Even Giant spec is okay, but yeah, we're taking Quick Supply Arc Phoenix. Pretty solid pack. And Supply spec Sledge Fang. Supply spec is probably the best spec, but Arcs and Phoenixes are good units, and Sledges are not good units. So, how will Apooche navigate that? I'm curious if Endo plays aggro here. I would imagine. I don't know actually. Like, I would do it. I think that's probably a better way to play Arc Phoenix, and it looks like he's setting up for that. Probably gonna buy 3 Fangs. Yep. I think it's a good call. The Trinity? Arcs are a good unit, guys. Arcs are literally good units. What do Sledges do for you? Besides get stuck on Fang shields for 7 years. Exactly. Why is aggro better for Arc Phoenix? Well, if it's just Arc Fang Phoenix, in standard play, it just feels a lot weaker. Usually want storms with it and crawlers. But with just this opener, I think you can do a lot of interesting things with flanks and playing ASIM. Especially with the Phoenix's targeting tower. So Apooche opting for a Phoenix in the middle. An interesting split for his anti-air. So he doesn't use all his deployments and just buys a Phoenix, which is an interesting choice. So this should be a pretty hard win for Endo. I'm not always a fan of the Phoenix round 1 pick. You miss out on deployments. Like, yeah, you want anti-air, but deployments are everything. You probably lose this anyways, round 1, no matter what you do with the aggro against quick supply. And those techs, by the way, on Phoenix are elite range, charge shot, and shield. He's not a jump drive enjoyer. We got subsidized arc, which is probably what Endo takes. Assuming he wants one more arc, which why wouldn't you want one more arc? Apooche's opting to skip here, does not want heavy hacker, he does not want heavy overlord. No Fang. Endo opts to skip, interesting. If you buy one more arc, he doesn't want any more arcs. He wants Mustangs. He wants the Mustangs. Mustangs are a good unit, so you can't really blame him. He's got 50 extra cash to spare. What will Apooche do? He's buying Stormcallers for the Fangs, which I think is pretty good. It's going to end up being also pretty good against the Mustangs later on, potentially. But I think this should be good to clear the Fangs off rip. We're buying another Phoenix for our anti-air unit. And both parties have 50 extra cash. 3 arcs are too much? I think 3 arcs are fine. 3 arcs is soft. You need 10. Rookie numbers. Pretty nice storm volley. He's going to hit the Mustangs. Going to hit the arcs. This Stormcaller did a lot of damage here. In general, you shouldn't cover your flanks and aggro. You don't like staying far back. Really? You just wait for them to flank and then respect it next round? I kind of like the Mustang flank. Because Mustangs come in at a reasonable time too, I guess. But it's not min-maxing your push, I guess. Underground threat, pretty strong. Maybe Endo wants to take Subsidize Arc like me. I don't think so. He's already committed. Yas for Underground threat, which is very strong. And the opposite put it back left, while Apooche opts for a barrier, which is also a very strong card. Endo doesn't have the best shield break here, so this round it should do a lot of damage. We're buying a Vulcan. You want that immediately? I see. I need to play around with that because I do exactly what Endo does. And we're putting the Vulcan, interesting enough, on the far left side. Maybe he wants to defend tower. I don't necessarily know if that'll work, but... And he buys another Fang. Endo opts for another Mustang. And buys a Crawler for the Stormcaller. Which I think is good because it'll stop from all his Fangs literally dying, like, off rip. We'll see if this Crawler threat goes through. Looks like it will. We will see if that's enough, though, to close out the round. Vulcan does turn, but he's a little too slow. Endo should get the tower here. So Endo's got a pretty good board state. He's got good clear. He's got leveled phoenixes. All he really has to worry about is this Vulcan barrier. Maybe we get a melter. It's probably what you need here. Don't know how else you efficiently deal with a barrier and a Vulcan. Both parties opting for a Junior Man. Can't say no to Junior Man round 4. That's a lot of shmoneys. Endo is opting for a Rhino to counter the Vulcan, it seems. That is definitely one way to break the barrier. It is definitely risky. It can work. But it's a bit risky. You can't clear the chaff. And you're really hoping that your Rhino makes it through. But we got 2 Rhinos, which should be enough, honestly, to hit tower. It's a lot of pressure left side when right side's already winning. And we added, it's actually 3 Rhinos. So that's a lot of pressure. We do have Phoenixes, or Apooche has Phoenixes. But we will see if that's enough to slow him down. Buy more Stormcallers. Handles the Mustangs pretty well. Handles the Fangs a little bit faster than a Vulcan. But we're getting a mobile beacon, or right side. Pretty open tower here. Apooche just buying a bunch of Fangs. This should slow down the Rhino. That's pretty good. Buying more Phoenixes. Which honestly is pretty convenient for these Rhinos. We will see how fast this tower drops. Vulcan hugging this Rhino, but the Rhino drops immediately. All the Rhinos are dropping, basically. This Vulcan barrier is probably not dropping this game, or this round. The right side tower is still getting through, but very slowly. Should be decent HP damage here. Yeah, it was an interesting split on the Phoenix. Endo at 2k HP. Apooche at 2.5. I think Endo's got a pretty good board state. Just it's the barrier that's the issue here. We're getting a laser sight from Apooche and haste module, probably in a Mustang. We're getting Phoenix ranges with levels. Outrange the Phoenix here, and we're actually laser sighting a Phoenix, which is pretty strong. Get some shots in early. We got blue Phoenixes. Apooche also opts for Phoenix range, which will help in the mirror. Wonder how Endo plans to deal with this Vulcan barrier. Don't necessarily know if these Phoenixes that are very far back will cut it, to be honest. There's so many Phoenixes. I don't think these Rhinos get in, to be honest. Apooche still got 500 bucks left. Opts to buy his own Mustang, which should help him with some clear. Buys 2 Mustangs. I would imagine all the rhinos drop pretty fast. We'll see if this is enough phoenixes to get this Vulcan here. But it is looking a bit rough. Phoenix is basically a Phoenix mirror at this point, with a Vulcan still alive. Laser sight's going to make a big difference here in some of these Phoenix battles. Oof, that saves him 400 HP damage here. But Endo down to 1.1k HP. Oh yeah, does the text cover some of the things? Both parties opting for orbital, which is very strong, especially when half your board is Phoenix. Launcher overload. Interesting. I've never clicked this button in my life, but I know Apooche really likes it. Apparently, it's very good in the Phoenix mirror. Should be good for killing the rhinos as well. Will this be posted to YouTube? Yeah, I can definitely do that. It'd be good to document most of the stuff. Or as much as I can, at least. Apooche's looking for... He borrows range. Endo's got 950 left. 20 seconds to spend. He's opting for storms. 3 storms with fire. He's shielding. That should help with the clear here. Don't think this will be enough. Orbital do a lot of damage on both sides, but Apooche's left side is very strong. This Vulcan isn't being fully dealt with. And there's just so many Phoenixes. I think this is game here. Bombard is indeed Bombard, this is true. Damn. I think this match was... It started out pretty strong for Endo, but then this Vulcan barrier is just so strong. Such a pain in the ass to deal with, I think. And then banking on rhinos to kill Vulcan, like that's the plan. The plan is the rhino must kill the Vulcan. And that's our shield break. So I think that was probably the biggest issue that Endo had, but I think this is more of a close match compared to the other two. I think first match was Apooche sided, second match was Endo sided. This is a little bit closer, but this Vulcan barrier, man, is too strong. I think you need a melter. Like, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the rhinos are so good, but none of them get levels. None of them make it even close. Well, they make it somewhat close, but